So what are refeeds? What are they for? The purpose of them, and why do only some athletes, get refeeds? That is the question asked. So first and foremost, refeeds, we've got to understand that, for most athletes, probably 100% of athletes actually, up until a certain point, refeeds are 100% kind of like part of the journey, something that we encourage you to, incorporate. The way it is used might vary in, obviously different, cases and, in different teams and different approaches from different coaches, etc. But think about it logically. When we create meal plans for you ladies, we create it in the sustainable manner. We create it so that you have, a fun food allowance, which you then have a choice to use those fun food calories, which is generally anything from 15 to 20% of your total daily calories. 80 to 85% comes from whole foods, nutritional dense foods, obviously your healthy, more cleaner diet foods, okay? And then 15 to 20% of your total daily calories are allocated, or you have an option to allocate it towards a fun food. That fun food can consist out of anything, okay? Whether, you are craving a chocolate or a protein bar or more fruits in your diet, or, a glass of wine, or, obviously, in many cases, a refeed meal over the weekend. See, it all comes down to how you choose to use your fun food calories, okay? If you look inside of your diet, if you go right to the bottom, there will always be a link that kind of like teaches you and makes you understand how to utilize your fun food diet. Your fun food calories. You can either spend all of your fun food calories on a daily basis to make your diet on a daily basis more sustainable. And this is, an approach that a lot of ladies enjoy, okay? Instead of, having less calories, instead of being a little bit more restrictive, I want to have a little bit more fruit in my diet. I want to have a protein bar on a daily basis, or I want to enjoy a glass of wine, or whatever the case is, every few nights. And so I'm going to take that 15-20% of my total daily calories that is allocated towards a fun food, and I'm going to spend that on a daily basis. Okay, option number one. Option number two is I'm only going to use part of that fun food allowance. So I like obviously putting a little bit of, milk in my coffee, or, I like some extra fruits, but I don't want to spend, the full 15-20% that I'm, obviously have the option to allocate towards my fun food on a daily basis. I'm only going to spend part of that. So I'm only going to spend, let's say, 100 calories out of the 200 or 300 or 400 calories that you are given as a fun food allowance. I'm only going to spend some of that on a daily basis, and I'm going to save the rest for another opportunity later on in the week. You know what I'm saying? So now the weekend comes and, you've spent some of your calories, fun food calories, on a daily basis to create more sustainability in your meal plan. And then you've also saved some so that you can have a little bit more calories over the weekend when you choose to indulge or want to eat out or go to an event or have date night or have a brow, with friends and family members. And then you can spend half of those calories that you've saved, or however many of your fun food calories, and you can allocate that towards a meal or towards the day over the course of the weekend, and then you can have a little bit more, obviously freedom there and indulge a little bit more with those calories that you've saved. Option number three is that you choose not to use your fun food calories, okay? So a lot of ladies opt not to use their fun food calories on a daily basis because if they have a little bit of fun food, it triggers something for them. They would rather have it clean Monday to Friday. And then let's say, for example, Saturday comes and then, okay, I want to kind of like get out of the gym, environment. I want to get out of the, the diet, obviously the prep, 100% in control of everything. And I want to obviously, get out the house. I want to go for dinner, or I want to go to a brow, or I want to go to an event, a wedding or whatever. And I want to enjoy a good refeed, as you obviously put it, a refeed meal. So essentially now what you've done is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's say, for example, let's use an example of a case study of 1,600 calories. 250 of those calories go towards a fun food, okay? 1,350 calories goes towards whole foods. Your meal 1 to meal 5 or meal 6, or obviously meal 1 to meal 7, however many meals you have in your meal plan. Okay, so 85% of your foods go towards your whole foods, which is your structured meal plan, and the rest you have a fun food allowance, but you opt not to use your fun food allowance. So essentially what's going to happen is you're going to eat less calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because you're going to save your fun food allowance, whether that's 200, 250 calories or whatever. So, and then you're going to now spend it over the weekend. So now you're going to save 250 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday comes, you've saved 1,500 calories or so, or 1,250 calories or so. Okay, now Saturday comes and you want to have a refeed meal. Let's say you feel for a little bit of sushi. Okay, now you've got to be smart. You can go have your sushi. Okay, Saturday comes, you're going to have meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4. You're going to forfeit meal 5, let's say for example, and you're going to take the calories for Saturday's meal 5. Okay, that's 300-400 calories. You're going to add your fun food allowance that you've saved for the week, which is 1,250, 1,500 calories. Okay, let's say for example that's what you've saved. Okay, because you opted to eat less calories throughout the week, and on the weekend you're going to have your refeed meal. You take those calories that you've saved, plus let's say for example meal 5, that is the meal that you're going to replace, and you use that entire 1,500, 1,600, 1,800 calories towards a refeed meal. Now you can have your 10, 12, 16 pieces of sushi if they clean, sashimi, or your cleaner ones with let's say for example rice and avo and tuna and salmon or whatever the case would be. Skip the mayo, skip the deep fried stuff, obviously the cleaner ones which you can control the calories with. And then you obviously eat within your calorie range. Okay, you've had that refeed meal. Your mindset is obviously feeling a little bit good because you kind of like had a break away from your diet. Sunday comes, you obviously eat clean again. When you calculate and add up all of your calories, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're still within your weekly calorie range because you spent your fun food allowance by using that, forfeiting it throughout the week and saving it to use it for a refeed meal. That's how we go about it. Other teams, you've got to understand, a lot of you ladies have not been coached, elsewhere. And, in many ways, that's a blessing because you are only exposed to a sustainable approach. You might go to another team and their approach might be, okay, here's your diet, okay? I'm not going to give you 1,600 calories. I'm going to give you 800 calories. I'm going to give you 1,000 calories. But your meal 1 is going to be, obviously egg whites and broccoli. Your meal 2 is going to be hake and, obviously rice. Your meal 3 is going to be, let's say for example, chicken and, sweet potato. Your meal 4 is your whey protein. Your meal 6, let's say, or your meal 5 is, a little bit of, tuna or hake or something with, green beans and avo. You've got one protein option, one carb option, one fat option, 1 or 2 veggie options, and you are told what to eat each and every specific meal, and that's what you have to eat, okay? And your calories are far lower, okay? Then the coach will potentially say to you, but on the weekend you can go have a refeed. So instead of having 1,600 calories on a daily basis, I'm eating 1,000 calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't really have a choice whether I incorporate my fun food on those daily basis, but I'm instructed to have a refeed meal over the weekend. Then I go spend those 2,000 calories, obviously essentially over the weekend towards a fun food. I mean a refeed, and essentially it is the same thing, okay? But our approach to it is we want to give you a choice. Here's a sustainable approach, okay? We're not going to try and starve you throughout the week and then reward you over the weekend, because in our experience and years of obviously getting feedback from athletes and obviously athletes that have come from us, from other teams, etc., basically what happens is that is when eating disorder happens. That's where the bad relationship with food happens. That's when an athlete thinks that they have to eat, obviously egg whites for breakfast, no other proteins, no other options. They have to eat obviously hake for the rest of the meals. All other options are demonized. And that is a very unhealthy way to get, obviously involved with nutrition. And we would rather keep you safe and protect you and give you multiple options. That's why you see our meal plans will often give you loads of protein options, loads of carb options, loads of fat options, loads of veggie options. You pick and choose your favorite, obviously, towards the portion sizes and the calories, obviously prescribed, and make it fit into, your diet. And then you can enjoy a great variety and food freedom within your diet. As long as we hit to our calorie goal and we obviously create the sufficient calorie deficit, we will succeed. This is our way of doing nutrition because we want to keep your relationship with food, obviously healthy. We want to avoid eating disorder habits. We want you to be able to, regulate back to normal eating after you've prepped and done shows, and not obviously just be in that hectic, restrictive, extreme mindset when it comes to food, which is such a dangerous, unspoken part of the industry. So essentially, some teams will just do that, and you'll obviously have less calories throughout the week. You'll get a refeed over the weekend, and obviously that's how you diet. And every now and then your diet will change, because now instead of having egg whites for breakfast, you'll have whey and oats for breakfast. And instead of having chicken for lunch, you'll get obviously tuna for lunch. You get what I'm trying to say? And that way they can change their diet frequently, but it's not actually beneficial. It's actually restrictive. And we choose not to go that route and obviously give you more, obviously sustainability from the beginning. Now, closer you get to stage 12 weeks, 8 weeks, 4 weeks, naturally, if you are behind with your conditioning, or we want to push and get you leaner, we will eliminate the fun food allowance and we will start cleaning up the foods. We'll start obviously slowly taking away, all the variety, and give you obviously 3 or 4 options for each macro, and kind of like, drop the hammer so that we can peak and be, obviously where we need to be. But we obviously take that structure and obviously, lessen the sustainability factor only the last few weeks, rather than doing that from the beginning of your prep for months and months and months, and then the damage is done long term. You get what I'm trying to say? So essentially, that is what a refeed is. It's just using some of your calories that you have obviously, for the week as an allowance, and you allocate that towards a meal that you're going to indulge in. Okay, the best way to do it, in our opinion, is to give you an option. Either use your fun food allowance, 15 to 20% of your daily calories, obviously towards a daily fun food or partial daily fun food, and obviously a partial refeed, or save your calories fun food during the week and have a substantial refeed. But all of you have been able to do this from the very beginning during the first few months, obviously, of your prep. It's only those last 4, 8, 12 for some of you weeks before stage that we will obviously, make little adjustments and take, the fun food allowance away, and obviously be a little bit more restrictive and structured with the specific foods that we need to eat. All right, but that is the reason, for a refeed meal, okay? Mentally just recharge, take a break off of your routine. How it is, obviously, applied is very, very important. There's a way that we do it. There's a way that others do it, each to their own. But essentially, that is, obviously why some athletes, do it in that capacity, and you guys have an option to do it in a, multiple phase capacity. All right. Hope that answers your question. Let me know what you guys think. God bless.